What's up, folks? I am at Mecum 2023 motorcycle auction, and we are having all kinds of fun. This is an incredible event, the biggest vintage motorcycle auction in the country at least, and wow, what a great time. It's super loud here, so I didn't do a ton of video, but I'm going to try to show you guys some stuff. Everything's available online, but you know, I'll just show you my experience here. I came to buy because I did a bit of selling before I got here, and so far I haven't bought anything, and I think everything else that's going up is out of my range and off my buy list. But earlier in the week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, deals to be had. Prices are definitely down this year. Not on everything, but on a lot of stuff, prices are down a bit. And next year, I think I'm going to come for the whole week or the beginning of the week, because it's cool seeing, you know, the $130,000, $200,000 bikes and all that, but not my market, not my clientele. Unfortunately, I think the cigarette smoke and air conditioning is just a little too much for my sinus system, because, man, I've been fighting it since I've been here. So if I sound weird, that's why. But yeah, enjoy, take a look around. Mecum 2023. So this is one of the bikes that I thought was going to bring more money. This is a really cool 74, I think, or 75 850 with a really cool, you know, cafe tank on it and tail section. They probably could have done a better job cleaning it up, but I think it only brought 10, and it is a nice motorcycle. Look at that front brake setup. This bike should have brought a little bit more money. Never mind. But look at these beautiful cowies. Big money bikes right here. All right, guys, this is pretty cool. I just stumbled upon this one, and this is a bike that we actually did some work to. Check it out. This one came in. A lot of the custom stuff was already done on it, but we did some mechanical stuff on it. And it's a nice little bike. I wanted to do some major changes, but the owner didn't want to put a bunch of money into it. So away she goes, but it's pretty cool to see one of our bikes here at Mecum. This is a cool bike right here. We had two of these last year, Honda CBX. I like the naked ones, but these are pretty cool too. This one's got the bags. It's got a Corbin seat with the backrest, so that's going to help out. I'm curious to see what that's going to go for. Oh my gosh, look at this Honda. What color is that? That is the brightest orange I've ever seen. I love it. Definitely some Cherokee on the engine. Pretty sweet. Little XR75, always one of my favorites. And FLH, the classic cone shovel, just like the blue one that we got. This one is a 79 beauty. So these bikes have been coming up quite a bit in value as well. This is a KZ1000 Z1R. I missed out on an opportunity to buy one of these a couple of years ago, and I'm kind of kicking myself in the butt. It was just super rough, so I passed up on it, but you know, they're pretty neat. The amount of little Harleys this year is just out of this world. Every color, awesome condition. I don't know what I would do with them, but it'd be fun to have them, right? And then you get into the pans. I believe these are all from one collection, and ooh, they didn't even clean this one. She still got the barn dust. 500 bucks more. But oh, look at that right there. Beautiful. Wow. Love the color. And then, of course, you got the random 03 in here, ultra classic. I'm curious to see what this bike will sell for. Like, it's a neat bike and all, but it's not super vintage yet. And out of the anniversary bikes, it's probably the most expensive one you could buy. I'm just falling more and more in love with the pogo seat setup, or whatever it's called. I don't have that on mine, but might be worth doing. XR750. These bikes have really been going up in value the last few years. This one's a street tracker, which I'm all about. I love street legal bikes that shouldn't be. But these bikes, my goodness, used to be able to get these things in the 20s, and now they are much more. Here we go, 79 CBX. This one's pretty decent. Low miles. And there's a little Suzuki Quad Racer 250. This is the little brother of the Quadzilla, like we have back home. All right, so this is one of the bikes that we're gonna really pay attention to. It's a 97 CR500. As most of you guys know, I'm super into CR500s. Not so much the 90s ones, but with values climbing, I might start buying 90s CR500s. I've really been into the 80s bikes, but we'll see. They're estimating 14 to 18,000. So if that's the case, I don't know. I guess if that's the case, I can't afford to sell any of my bikes because I will never be able to afford them again. A couple panheads over here. I'm not a big fan of green, but that's a beautiful bike. Can't go wrong with a two-tone. So for those that don't know, this is a Honda Valkyrie Rune, and they only made this bike for 2 years. It was a very special engineering project, and I personally have sold 3 of them. Well, I've been watching these bikes over the years, and for some reason, prices seem to be flat at best or going down a little bit, because I sold one of these 10 years ago for more than it sold this year. And I'm really, really surprised about that. A big part of it is Honda was supposedly only going to make 1,800 of these things, and then they decided to make more, and that hurt the value for sure. But it's weird that they're kind of flat / dropping in value. This is VIN number 63, which is relatively low. I think I've sold a VIN number in the 40s, and then one that was under 200, and then a much higher one. Like I said, I thought they were only going to make 1,800 of these, but I think they ended up making closer to 3,000. Not 100% sure on that, but neat bike. Bunch of British bikes this year too, and I'm wondering if people are starting to unload British bikes because the values are going to start dropping. What values are not going to start dropping is Kawasaki Z1s. These things are on the rise, and there is no sight where they're going to end because the prices just keep going up. If this one looks familiar, we actually did one of these very recently. The one that we did was set up as a flat track bike, and not quite as nice as that though. So this is one of the bikes that I was bidding on, and I'm glad I didn't get it. It's an 01 FXDX, but it's salvage, and I took her up to about $4,500, and then I let it go because it just has too much going against it. The details, I know the sun's bad right now. I've been just falling more and more in love with these electric glides, and I don't know why, but look at this one. It is beautiful. Beautiful. 33,000 miles. This has to be repainted, has to be restored. It is just too beautiful. Highly original condition, with the exception of one repaint. Wow. Phenomenal. It's a cute little sporty. This kind of looks like a little fun bike to ride. Little iron head. I love the oil bag. Flying Dragons are selling for ridiculous money this year. This is one of my favorites. Anniversary edition.
Or 60 to you, or 60 to you, 60 pounds dollar, 60 pounds number it, down 62, there it is, 60, 62, reserve is up. All right, let me get 60 down too. All right, let me get 60 down too.
Boat tail. If this one looks familiar, we actually have one of these in the shop right now. This is a Indian Mini Bambino, and this one's really, really nice. 1974 MM5, the Mini Bambino. All right, hot tip. If you have a Honda CBX and you're selling it, take off that silly 6-into-1 exhaust. Yes, it probably performs better, but buyers do not like it. All the bikes with the 6-into-1 sell for less. Spend $1,200 and get the right exhaust. And I'm back at the shop. Mecum was a ton of fun, even though I got this nasty head cold like the day that I got there it started, but fought through it, had a lot of fun. Didn't end up buying anything. I got really close on a couple bikes, and one of them, it just didn't hit reserve. I was definitely going to be high bidder and all that, but I had talked to the owner before, just because when it was in the lineup, I was checking it out, and he came over to like shine it up. And it was a shovel head, cool bike, but he just, I think Mecum kind of blue skied him a little bit, because they give people estimates on what stuff's gonna sell for. And I think that they told him like 7 to 8 grand for that bike. And I can't remember, I think I went to 5,000 on it, maybe 4,500, and nobody was bidding against me. But yeah, he didn't pull the reserve, so didn't sell, and he took it home. And that is expensive. Just imagine, I think the guy was from somewhere out east. He brought 2 bikes, hotel rooms, drinks, dinner. God forbid he went to the table and did some gambling. And now he has to take that bike all the way back home, along with maybe other bikes, who knows. But that's the way she goes. Mecum was pretty crazy this year. Prices were all over the place. Some stuff was really low. Some stuff was high, but not abnormally high. The Japanese stuff is climbing. Z1s are doing great right now. And I'm happy about it. I love Z1s, and I love to see the Japanese bikes are climbing up. British bikes are not. They are not doing well right now. Triumphs are down. Nortons down a little bit, not as much as the Triumphs. There was some beautiful Triumphs there that did not do well at all. A bunch of bikes didn't sell. I would say a couple hundred bikes probably didn't sell. So if you're thinking about taking your bike to Mecum, I would suggest, doing some homework, because not everything sells for a ton of money at Mecum. Special stuff does, non-special stuff does not. So for me as a buyer, which I primarily, am a buyer, there are deals to be had early in the week. overall, it was just a great time. I got to catch up with some friends that don't live close. I made a bunch of new friends, which is always cool. So yeah, it was a great time, and really looking forward to it next year. Next year, we're gonna try to do something a little different. We might take some bikes to sell, depending on what I have at the time. And I think hopefully we're gonna, take some friends and make an event out of it. So looking forward to that. Big thanks for tuning in. If you happen to be new, don't forget to subscribe. Normally we're making videos about pulling bikes out of barns and getting them running and that, but we're probably gonna start doing more events. The more events I go to, I guess I'll just do videos because it's a lot of fun. And I guess it's part of the business, so we'll do that. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one.